Welcome back to Barrel Brothers. This week we're back on the Technos with a lot less room. Actually I had to put the black up here so you can see the wheels in front of all the crap that's going on behind it, but stay tuned. Alrighty, so the first thing we've got to do is put the bolts in them. I've already done that one. They're a little bit different, these two. This is a rear. As you can see, this is normal bolts. This one here is one of the fronts. And this has countersunk bolts. So my go-to for these ones are usually an M8 by 30 bolt. As you can see, it comes up just about perfect without a washer. The drama with these is they were made with, and a lot of the, well, heaps of the stuff was made with an M8 by 32, which is a pain. So you can either go to an M8 by 30 and have that about level pegging with the top, or you can go with an M8 by 35 and run a couple of washers on it. Now, it depends on the wheel a little bit. Some of these you'll put on an M8 by 30, not particularly maybe the SSRs or some Star Sharks or some XR4s, something like that. And you'll do it up and the bolt will be sort of a thread down inside, and that's no good. Or it's take a washer out and it's like that, you know. An M8 by 35 might be like that. But this one's a whole different kettle of fish, because it's got countersunk bolts, so this is quite a bit later wheel. Now here's the thing, that is an M8 by 30, and so is this. Notice something? So these ones here, you measure, always a bolt or a cap head screw, something like that, you always measure from underneath the head. Now if it's countersunk though, it's the overall length from the top. So an M8 by 30 actually works in this one just as well as the M8 by 30 works in that one. And I don't know, it gives you I suppose I made this for bigger brakes or something or other. Yeah, anyway, we also need to put some seats in there, and we've got to fit a valve, and we have to seal them up, and then they'll be ready to put on the sunny truck. If you missed that episode, they were never for the cappuccino, they were always for the sunny truck. I said right at the beginning, you know, that we might do a set of these because it was the very first set of wheels that we put onto the sunny truck. One-piece versions, but they were too wide, and that's when I got pulled over by the police and told that I was being a naughty boy and I should go back and put some other wheels on. He was a good cop though, actually, he let me go, so. Because I'm a mature gentleman. If I had P plates, it would have been done for sure, but I didn't. I'm a mature gentleman of advanced years, and I should know better, apparently, because I build wheels, quote unquote. Yes, but anyway, these were always intended for the sunny truck, and that's where they're going to end up. So. What we need here is we need a bunch of bolts, we need a bunch of nuts, we need some Loctite. These ones you don't really have to torque them up. I just rattle them up, not too hard with the gun. You do need to run bolts with these though, because without the bolts, that's an added support. They will hinge on that weld as they flex, and they will crack the weld, and it'll deflate. So there's two things you need to do with these wide bolt wheels. You need to run them with bolts, and you need to weld them. There's not enough bolts there to run them not welded, and you can't just have them welded without the bolts, okay? They need to be like that. Plus they look better with the bolts in them anyway. I mean, look at that. So we need to sort out some seats for them, and we've got some valves for them here. These are the SSR style, the short ones. They seem to be the popular one from back in the day. That's the one that they used on everything. Heaps of wheels used them. We do a slightly longer version if you've got where it's a little. We like to use that. I'll just put my tongue back in my head. That flow of, yeah, I keep thinking of too much stuff. Anyway, if it's a bit tight in here and you don't want to scratch your rim when you're putting the tyre valve in, you run the slightly longer one, but these will do for these because we've got a nice big, well, there you go there. See, nice big area to pump it up. That one's pretty well done. We need a centre cap, we need to seal it up. Let's get stuck into it. Didn't even line that up. It's close, but me being the pedantic person that I am, nah. There we go. See, a lot of the time you don't have to set stuff on fire to make it fit. This is a good fit though. It's a 9-inch wide wheel with a 225/40 on it. See, my tyres came in overnight, parts from Japan. Toyo T1Rs, 225/40/14. That's sign of a nice round wheel. I always give it another spin in between the weight, put one side on, give it another spin. 15 went to 20. Oh, another 10. Opposite where the other weights are, so we'll try taking these ones off. 0, 0, look at that. Comes up with that, and like, because we do it alloy, so we don't have any weights on the outside of the wheel, they're all done on the inside. But if you come up with it, you put your weight on, and it tells you to put some more weight on, and then you check where it wants it, and it's on the opposite side, just take the weight off, and away you go. Look at that. That tyre looks chonky, doesn't it? That looks great. As much as I love Techno Phantoms, and I love Techno Phantoms, my wings Abata spokes suit the truck better. I think I'm just going to put the tyres, the good tyres, onto the Abata spokes and save the Techno Phantoms for a rainy day. You never really know until you get them on the car. That's the thing. You never know until they're actually on the vehicle. The amount of times that we had people coming here and they go upstairs and go through all the wheels and they had a, you know, I want these and I want these and I want these, and we'd come down and put it on the lift, jack it up, put the wheels on there. So then they usually call the boys out and say, what do you reckon look good on this? And generally we'd pick something similar around this, you know, and I'd say 90% of the time the customer, when they came in, what they thought that they were going to buy, they didn't go away with. Definitely. Damn it. So I just finished doing that, and John, my offsider, came out and said, I thought you were putting the gold ones on there. And I said I was, but I put it on and I didn't really like it that much. I showed him the photo and he said, that looks great. And the annoying thing is I trust his opinion because that's his car. So the man has taste and he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, baby. So now I've got to go back through, take that tyre back off that rim and put them back on the gold ones. The Technos are going on, all four of them. So there's a couple of things we've got to do. We'll get this up in the air to start off with. Okay, so we're going to have to seal up the fronts and we're going to have to take these tyres off. This is going to be tomorrow now. And put those onto the front Techno Phantoms, which is a little problem. It's going to have to be tomorrow, as I just said, because there's no seal on them. And there's no seats in them. And there's no bolts in them. I can do all the bolts in the next hour or so, and the seats and whatnot. The seal has to wait at least 12 hours. So from here, even if I do it right now, 2 o'clock in the morning, it'll be ready. That's 12 hours. So by the time we get round to tomorrow morning, we should be good to go. This one has a little bit done to it, but this one I haven't even peeled the bloody tape off. They've been sitting on the rack there for months. So I might get stuck in and do that, eh? Can't do it with gloves on. Beautiful. Dusty, 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 dusty. How unprofessional. That was Shannon. He's on his way over so I can put some wheels together for him. And he wants me to powder coat a fuel tank. We'll see if it's going to fit in the oven, which is the main thing. He did some measurements, but yeah, it's going to be close in one direction. See if I can sell him on like construction yellow. I don't think he's going to go for it somehow. Ooh, we're just about out. I'll put a little bit more on this time, so I'm not running out. Where the hell did I put that? Don't panic, I found it. There was no cause for alarm. Yes, it's squishing out around the sides now, which is good, which is exactly what you want. Just like I bought one. Wish they used to be. Once upon a time. Look at that. See how that comes out? Very professional looking. Professional. Alright, so remember to never get silicone on any of your clothes because it'll never wash out ever. Because I've done this now, this means tomorrow morning I'll be able to put these on. If I get through doing all the other crap without ruining the seal. Now remember that every time I do a wheel video I would talk about the bolts, why you have to have the bolts. Obviously it would look nice and clean without bolts there, but you need to put them in, it's important. Right, there's your centre, here's your lip, and that's welded on that area there. Now as the forces are at play, without the bolts holding this bit together, it will flex and it'll crack on the weld. Okay, so it needs to be welded and bolted, unless you've got something like a BBS RS or something with a small bolt gap. I mean this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts in the whole wheel. 8 bolts, it's not enough, look at the gap. You're gonna have a bad day, trust me. Put them together properly. It's not just your life that you're playing with. It's other people on the road, it's your girlfriend, it's your mum who you're taking down to bingo, you know, it's all of these people. Right, remember these don't have to be rattled up to 1,000,000. They're playing a support act here. Okay, so what have we got to do? We've got to put the seats in and we've got to put the valves in. So I'll go and grab a couple of valves. And I've already got the seats here. We need to make those black through a little process that we do, and then we'll whack them in. Do you guys have favourite spanners? I've got like 4 12mm in there, and I always go for this one. It's just, I don't know. All right, you don't want to tighten these up to hell. You just want to get a good squish on the rubber, on the seal. So they don't have to be done up to 1,000,000, because all you're going to do is make them prematurely fail. And there they are, all nice and black. Look at that. Beautiful. And here's Shannon. Say hello, Shannon.
So happy. You ain't happy or funeral break out.
Shannon brought over some old Simmons that he just wants me to put together. 4x1 10. So, Mazda stuff. Anyway, I'll clear that away and we'll get stuck into mine again. Alrighty, the next thing they need is the seats. So we need the seats, we need our punch, and we need to go over to the press. Push me in. Lubricant, good in so many of life's situations. It's persistently raining here, so anyway, job done. Basically got peer pressured into it. Ah, looks pretty good. He said as he trips over the old red ones. Yeah, at least we got some decent tyres on it now. These are not real good in the wet. I mean, it's got nothing to do with the massive 35 kilowatts that we got it, but that it probably has something to do with it weighing nothing there and having a fairly tight Cusco diff in it. That makes you lose traction quickly, but makes you regain it also quickly, which is an interesting combo. But yeah, so there we go, gold wheels. Now that they're all on, I actually rate that. Well, that's the end of that episode. Okay, yeah, all right, they look all right. Anyway, next episode, we better start work on this chunky boy, the A15. Look at putting that back together, and that'll be the, once that's in and up and running, that'll be the final form of the Sunny truck. How many changes has that gone through over the years? Could always put the red wheels back on, I suppose. I'll keep those in reserve. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, Barrel Brothers, and we will see you next episode. Look after yourselves, please. Well, we have rain again. Was it a few years ago somebody said it'll never rain again, we'll never fill the dams up. So yeah, we've got all this useless infrastructure that we're not going to use anyway. That's not my purveyance. Looks like I need to clean out my drain again. But what that means is we'll be doing all of our tyre changes and whatnot in here.